Let's face it, getting ignored feels awful. You send a message, and it's like it just disappears into thin air. You wait. You wonder. And still, nothing. The silence is maddening, right? And in those moments, it's tempting to just send another message, to beg for attention, to explain yourself. But here's the hard truth. Begging for attention is the quickest way to make sure you stay invisible. If you want to stop begging and start getting the responses you deserve, you need to change the game. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that, using simple psychology-backed strategies that will make people pay attention to you, crave your presence, and even make them wonder why they didn't respond sooner. 1. The silent power play. So, you've been ignored. Maybe they left you on read. Maybe they took hours or even days to reply. Instead of falling into the trap of chasing them with more messages, use the power of silence. Here's the truth. People hate being ignored. The more you chase after someone who's not responding, the less they're likely to value your attention. But when you stop trying to get their attention, something incredible happens. They start wondering where you went. Why aren't you texting them? Why aren't you engaging? And suddenly, they're the ones chasing you. This tactic is about showing that you're not desperate for their time. You're valuable, and your attention is something worth earning. 2. The curiosity hook. The first thing you need to understand is that curiosity is a powerful tool. When people are ignoring you, they're not ignoring you because they don't care. They're ignoring you because you failed to grab their attention. But here's the thing. People can't resist curiosity. So instead of sending the usual "Hey, why aren't you replying?" message, try something like this. "I was just thinking about you. Something really strange happened today." Or, "You won't believe what just happened. Wish you were here to see it." These types of messages leave the door open for them to ask questions, creating intrigue. When curiosity is piqued, people feel compelled to respond. And now, you're the one controlling the conversation, not them. 3. Create a challenge. Here's where you can get really creative. Everyone loves a challenge, especially when it involves a little mystery or competition. So the next time you're ignored, send something like, "I bet you can't guess what I've been up to lately." Or, "I have a challenge for you. Want to know what it is?" Now, instead of being the one waiting for a response, you've turned it around and created a situation where they want to take the bait. They'll be motivated to respond simply to accept the challenge, whether they realize it or not. This works because it shifts the dynamic from a passive conversation to an active one where they feel like they have something to prove. It taps into their competitive instincts, and now they're more likely to engage with you. 4. The tease, 1839. If you're tired of always giving people all the answers, then stop giving them everything they want. Sometimes, a little tease is all it takes to get someone to stop ignoring you. Try sending something like, "I have something really interesting to tell you, but maybe I'll save it for later." This small tease sparks the desire for more. It's like telling someone there's a treasure hidden, but they have to ask you for the map. It works because you've just made them feel like they're missing out on something exclusive, and now they'll want to engage to find out more. Remember, humans are driven by the fear of missing out, FOMO, and when you activate that feeling, they'll be reaching out, wondering what you have to say. 5. Mirror and reflect. People love to see themselves reflected back. If you're always the one texting first, always the one putting in the effort, it's time to change that. Mirror their behavior. If they've been replying with short messages or taking hours to get back to you, start doing the same thing. Keep your responses short, neutral, or even a little distant. This creates a shift in the power dynamic. They'll start to notice that you're no longer chasing them, and suddenly, they'll want to know why. Why aren't you being as available as before? By mirroring their behavior, you subtly let them know that you've realized the imbalance in the relationship, and now they have to make an effort to reconnect. 6. The nostalgia trigger. One of the most effective ways to break through someone's indifference is by triggering their nostalgia. People love to reminisce about the good times. So if you've shared a positive experience with someone, Remind them of it, but do it in a way that's subtle and inviting. Try this. I just thought about that amazing trip we took together last year. That was a great time, wasn't it? Or, do you remember when we shared memory? That was hilarious. These messages don't demand a response, but they invite the person to remember the emotional connection you shared. And when people remember positive moments, they often want to recreate them. This can be a subtle but powerful way to rekindle their interest. 7. The cold shoulder technique. It sounds counterintuitive, but sometimes the best way to get attention is to give none. When someone starts ignoring you, don't panic. Instead, give them the cold shoulder. Stop reaching out completely. This doesn't mean playing games or being passive-aggressive. It means letting them feel the absence of your presence. When people realize they're no longer able to rely on your attention, they start to value it more. Silence forces them to think twice about their behavior and wonder why they've lost your engagement. They may not admit it right away, but they'll feel the shift, and sooner or later, they'll want to close the gap between you. 8. The final twist. This is the ultimate psychological move. Instead of continuing to chase them, try sending a message like this. You've been on my mind lately, but I don't know if I should reach out anymore. Let me know if you want to talk. This approach does two things. First, it shows them that you're in control. Second, it leaves the ball in their court, making it clear that you're no longer desperate for their attention. People hate rejection and hate feeling like they're being dismissed. By offering this final nonchalant exit, you're leaving the door open, but only if they're willing to walk through it. Now the power lies in their hands, and they'll have to work to regain your attention. Conclusion. So if you're tired of begging for attention and waiting around to be noticed, it's time to switch things up. Use these strategies, the curiosity hook, the cold shoulder, the nostalgia trigger, and more, and watch how your interactions shift. Don't beg. Don't chase. Be the person that others can't ignore. What strategy are you going to try first? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more psychology-backed tips on how to take control of your relationships and communication. Remember, you are not invisible. You just need the right approach to be seen.